Right, here we have a set of party radios. Now the seller on eBay was listing these as rare 1980s radios, but these are of course, and when we take one apart you'll see, are actually from the mid 1960s, about 1964 to be precise. So another example really of the eBay seller not fully knowing what he'd got there, and I got these for a very reasonable price indeed. I mean, these should really retail in this condition for around the £50 mark, and I certainly didn't pay that for them. Anyway, these two didn't come in a box. But they do appear to have crystals in, so I decided just to switch them on first to see what they sound like. And as you can hear, the sound is there. It's a bit scratchy, so I checked the other radio out, and that appeared to have exactly the same problem. So a little bit of switch cleaner hopefully, and looking at the quality and the weight of these, I think these are going to be fairly well made, even though they are quite old. So anyway, if you've watched the channel for a while, you'll notice that these are an exact copy or a rebadged version of these radios, these Weltklang radios, which I featured on the channel a couple of years ago. My Weltklang radios, are actually in better condition than these. I imagine that the Weltklang radios hadn't been used very much, if not at all. But the difference between this video and that video is on this video I'm going to strip the radios down, clean them up, and we're going to take them out and do a proper test with them. I don't think the Weltklang radios actually did work too well from memory, but I was hoping for a little bit more out of these party radios, and I sure got that. So anyway, really easy to get into these radios. A single screw holding the back case onto the back of the radio here, and I really like the sort of push up button on the battery box which slides the case off. Really easy to get into the battery box there, and as you can see, it's a much better made unit than the radio I featured on the last video, which was a much cheaper, much more later variant of a similar radio. Now this one has a nice solid push to talk button, a much better build, and you can physically see the age of it there when we look down at those resistors, the resistors there next to the transformer with the painted on color code. So you can physically see this isn't a 1980s radio. Anyone with any knowledge of electronics would know this was a radio from the 1960s, and there we can see the crystal inside there at 27.125 megahertz. This is an AM radio, of course, and it more than likely came over to the UK from America, and I was really pleased to see that the capacitors appear to be in pretty good shape, and I also noticed that the power transistor at the top there seemed to be of a fairly reasonable size, so I was hoping for some fairly reasonable. There's the power transistor for the RF. I was hoping for some much better performance than we saw out of those last set of radios I tested. So anyway, I did a bit of cleaning up of the battery terminals, and we put some switch cleaner in the pot. So let's have a listen to see if that made much of a difference. And as you would expect with the switch cleaner, I use a WD-40 switch cleaner if anyone's asking. Most people use Servicol, but that's what I use. So anyway, I thought, well, it'd be worth just getting them on the field strength meter. Now, this was roughly twice the power of the radios that we tested in the last video on the field strength meter. Now, you've got to take this with a little bit of a pinch of salt, because I put a more modern FM radio on here, which is still an old radio, but the TRC1008, which is an FM radio of a 9-volt battery, and that absolutely smashes off the scale there on that setting on the field strength meter. But let's see how they work. We've come out to test these with my little helper. It's a bit dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to stay under here, and I'm going to go down there, and we'll see how far we go. Okay?
Okay.
Right, so there he is. And they're actually working. Give us a hello or say something.
Hello.
Right, I'm going to go down to the next lamppost, next two lampposts, okay? Right, we're a little bit further down, and he's still got me. There he is up there, about 100 yards maybe. Okay, Tyler, give us the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
Ah, these are working great. I'll carry on down a bit further.
Okay.
Right, we're quite a bit further away. Let's try him now. He's right down the end there. Hello, Tyler, can you hear me now? Oh wow, we need a longer road to test these out on. Perhaps we'll do that sometime, but you're quite a way away now and you can hear me okay, yeah?
Yes, the static is a bit louder, but I can still hear you okay.
Okay, that's great. Well, I'll come back then. Do you know what? I was really surprised with just how well these radios worked, and I'm pretty sure out in free space we could probably get half a mile with these radios. To me, they appear to be working probably almost as well as they've worked, 50 odd years ago. So, I mean, I think that's a really makes quite a statement as to the sort of, these are Japanese radios. If you use quality parts and they're made well, then there's no reason why electronic devices like this can't last and keep functioning. Like I said, the only thing that can happen with these radios is sometimes the capacitors can dry out, but that's not always the case, and there didn't appear to be anything else required other than a cleanup of the push to talk button and a cleanup of the volume on off control knob. If you've enjoyed this video, please click on like, and if you're not already a member of the channel, please click on subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Right, I'm going to zoom off now. Enjoy your day. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.